From New York, it's That Kevin Show.
See, I knew it.
Come on, Kev. What's a few classified documents between friends?
I told you all the time. I knew it. I knew he had some too.
Here he is, That Kevin McCullough.
Welcome back to Times Square. It's That Kevin Show. And my next guest, really, honestly, for literally every reason the book needs no introduction to this broadcast, because she was our very first special honorable guest on this broadcast when we started a little over 2 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for now the GOP spokeswoman, Elizabeth Pitko.
Hi.
Hey, lady, how are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing great.
It's great to have you. You know, back in the day when you first did this show, Salem News Channel didn't have Laura Trump on our channel, and we didn't have, a whole bunch of people that we have now. And you kind of helped me kind of make all that happen. So kudos to us, huh?
Kudos to us. Yeah, no, I hope everyone knows it was all you, but I'm glad if I was even 1% of what we've created.
That's
here.
very, very kind of you. Now, you've taken on a new role. In fact, this role is a little bit puzzling to me, because on that episode where you joined us, you were like, I'm getting out of politics. I'm not going back into that anymore. It's too much for me. We got to focus on the other stuff. And here you are, the spokesperson for the GOP.
Yes, I've had to explain myself quite a few times. Actually, first off, just to myself in the mirror, because I did not expect to do this. I really was genuine with you and everyone else that I told that to. I did not want to go back to politics. I did not expect to go back to politics. As you know, I went back to school to get my master's. I went back to modeling, just doing everything that I could do.
Culinary school. I mean, you've done.
I did, yes.
You've got like 6 or 7 degrees since you started that.
A few, but yeah, for me, it was basically everything other than politics that I could dip my toes in. I kind of got into, and I was loving that, and didn't expect to be back here. And then October 7th happened. It changed my view on a lot of things. That, coupled with, I think, what I've seen President Trump kind of go through these last few months, just changed my views on what I should be doing. I think it's very easy to be 28 years old in America and say, I have a lot of fun things ahead of me. I have a lot of mainstream opportunities. People are not going to hate me, and I'm going to have fun. But knowing what this country means to me and so many people, knowing what my parents went through to get here, it just doesn't feel like the right thing to do. And getting an opportunity this big, also as the daughter of immigrants, you don't say no to spokeswoman for the GOP. So I am very blessed, and I'm very excited, and I am, I think, hopefully in the right place.
Can I tell you a little secret? And this is just between you and me and nobody watching. I kind of always thought you would be back here because of what you just said. How much the country means to you, how much your parents' story means to you. You wrote about this in your book. You've talked about it on my show back when it was just a radio show. But the real you deep inside loves this country as much as she loves anything else.
Probably more than I love anything else. Everyone in my life kind of laughs at me because I literally cannot make it through the national anthem without crying. Anytime we're watching like a sporting event, someone is videotaping me because they think it's so funny that I tear up every single time. And I know that it's a joke, but it's very, very genuine. I'm also a sensitive person, so it's easy for me to cry, but it is very genuine. I love this country very much. We just marked the anniversary of my grandfather's passing. That's my dad's dad, who I never got to meet. My dad had to say goodbye to when he left, thinking he would probably never see him again. He actually never got to see him again. He died in a really tragic way back in the Soviet Union. These are the things that kind of haunt me every single day. These are just one of the reasons, obviously, that I knew this job was important, and standing up for what you believe in is important. And it's one of the reasons that, unfortunately, I am unable to sit in New York City and pretend that I'm some happy model who doesn't notice that our democracy is crumbling before our eyes. And that's probably the one thing I owe to my parents and this country, is to fight for it.
Yeah, well, kudos to you on all that you just said. I'm truly grateful. I'm grateful to call you a friend, but I'm grateful to call you a fellow American, because I think that this is what we are up against. And let's just start right there. You had your little plan for your life. You were going down a path. I think a lot of Americans were a couple of years ago. Joe Biden got elected, and we were kind of like, oh, okay, we'll hold our nose, kind of live through it, blah, blah, blah. Elizabeth, it got so bad so fast, and so much worse than anybody thought it would, in terms of the freedoms that they're taking away, in terms of the way that they're trying to manipulate even the ability for the freedom of speech. I mean, when you think about the fact that Judge Marchand's gag order gagged only the defendant, who happens to be a former president and the opponent of the current president. I mean, there should have been a lot of additional reasons why he wasn't put under a gag order, besides just the fact that it's not something that you normally do in those types of cases. But when you see the literal First Amendment being stolen from a man, I mean, let's face it, Donald Trump has billions. He can defend himself. He'll come out of all of this on the other side relatively unscathed compared to what it would do if it was you or me in the same position. And I happen to think that the average American, particularly legal immigrants, particularly for people in the middle class, particularly for people that are going, well, wait, is the system completely rigged against me? I think they looked at that and they went, holy cow, they're taking the Constitution away.
Yeah, I don't think I could say it better. I think you hit the nail right on the head there when you said the immigrants to this country. That's who I've been thinking about, obviously with my parents' story, but so many others that I know. And I've watched many in the mainstream media, obviously on the left, kind of taunt those that were uncomfortable with the decision, assuming they were just, people that are part of this MAGA base. When in reality, it's a lot of people that are just immigrants to this country that never thought that our legal system would in any way remind them of the legal system back from wherever they fled from. That's a serious problem. And the fact that those views and those concerns are being mocked instead of addressed, that shows where we are right now. The system is being weaponized against Donald Trump. That is blatant. But more so, the American people are being completely ignored. Their views are being thrown away because we are so focused on our hatred for Donald Trump in this country. We have forgotten what it means to actually love your fellow American. That's the problem. When you see these people, those in the justice system, in the media, in all these major institutions, kind of put it out there blatantly that they actually have more hatred for Donald Trump than they have love for the country, that's when you know we have a serious problem.
Yeah, we're not joking about that. Elizabeth Pipko is my honored guest, and she honors me in a lot of ways, but she was the very first guest we had on the show, and now that she's with the GOP as an official spokesperson. And Elizabeth, I've seen a lot of people come through your current spot. I remember when Kayleigh McEnany was just a little green girl and intern from the Mike Huckabee newsroom over at Fox News, and you're following in the footsteps of some real giants. So good on you, and I appreciate you taking the time to be with us. I'm just always humbled by the fact that people take the time to talk to us. Let's talk about the nature of the race, and I know that at the party, which you're a part of now, the campaign for the president and the party have become unified. Let me just rewind the clock 4 years ago. I would reach out to the campaign and get surprisingly responsive service. People would say, yeah, let me get you this guest. Let me do whatever. I had Don Jr. on, I had Kimberly Guilfoyle on, I had Eric and Laura. They were always coming on the show, etc. I'd reach out to the party and they were like, oh, we're kind of busy. And you never ever really see like the Republican Party stepping up and being part of the active campaign that at that time I was trying to warn people, Joe Biden's going to ruin our country. We got to do something about this. Now you guys are in kind of lockstep. You're in unison, which is always better than dissonance. We're coming right back from New York. She's Elizabeth Pipko. I'm Kevin McCullough. Stay here.
Stick around for more of That Kevin. Next, That Kevin Show with Kevin McCullough.